This is a Central Line train to West London.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good service operating all line.
Exponential technology is changing the way we live, work, and play. But the human mind does not deal with exponential thinking very well. We are seemingly on the first step of a staircase that promises to carry us into an unknown future that many of us are simply not prepared for. So to understand the current state of the world's most powerful exponential technology, I have traveled to London Tech Week to meet up with some of the world's leading technologists and thought leaders to help you understand the implications of these technologies on your world. My name is Matt Brown, and this is the State of X.
This is the biggest and most ambitious festival of technology this country has ever seen.
Artificial intelligence has been described as the simulation of human intelligence by machines, especially computer systems. These processes involve learning, reasoning, and self-correction. In other words, artificial intelligence has the incredible ability to collect vast amounts of information. Intelligent machines use rule sets to approximate conclusions and through analysis of the outcomes, learn insights and correct their approach going forward. It could be argued that while AI is described as the simulation of human intelligence, it has far surpassed the capabilities and limitations of the human mind. So I met up with Bob De Caux, the Vice President of Artificial Intelligence and Robotics Process Automation at IFS, to explore the state of AI today. Hey guys, welcome back to State of X. With me today is Bob De Caux.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself. What is your role?
So I'm the VP of AI and Robotic Process Automation at IFS. So I'm in charge of bringing AI, machine learning, automation into our sort of traditional enterprise software product.
Okay, cool. So IFS is not a small company, but
No.
compared to other incumbents within the ERP space, it's a challenger brand, right?
That's correct.
So how are you using AI to create a real key point of difference and ultimately by doing that capturing more market share?
Sure. So we have a number of key verticals that we focus in. We focus on manufacturing, we focus in aerospace and utilities. And the important thing for us is to provide solutions that our customers want that's going to make it easier for them to run their businesses. So our focus is on demystifying and making it as easy as possible to consume AI related solutions. We don't want to just give them a toolkit and say, off you go, do things yourself, because often, they might not have the experience, the know-how, they're beginning their journey. They want to have something they can put into their processes and take advantage of AI's capabilities as easily as possible.
Okay, so we're going to talk about X in this case, which is AI in the enterprise.
Sure.
What is the general attitude and mindset towards AI? Are enterprise clients in your portfolio, are they open to working with AI, or are they still quite ambivalent about it? Like, how far down the garden path are we in that regard?
I think they're very open to it. I think it's probably on the agenda of pretty much all of them. But I think the thing is, it has been for maybe a couple of years. We've gone through a little bit of a hype cycle because AI has delivered a number of things into our daily lives, but actually delivering it into the business, into the enterprise, it requires some pretty fundamental shifts. It needs to come from the top down. It requires a change of strategy, encourages you to collect your data, think about the data you're having. So I think a lot of companies have found it harder to get going than they would have thought originally. So we see a little bit of kind of reticence in terms of, is AI really going to work for us? Are we in a position to do it? But generally they're all keen, but most of them are very early in their journey.
Let's talk about that. So, it's a journey, right? This whole thing.
Yeah.
AI you can't just it's like content. Once you start, you got to keep going at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what would you say are kind of like the main inhibitors towards adopting an AI-enabled enterprise?
I'd say data is always number one. Data is, I've heard it described in various ways here, gold, the new oil. Without good data, you're going to struggle to do AI well. Machine learning algorithms they rely on learning these patterns, they're learning things that have happened in the past. So you need to be collecting that, managing it sensibly. The other thing is skills. A lot of these companies either don't have the skills internally or are slowly building that up. They're focusing on sort of small individual pieces. They're not sort of feeding it up into the wider strategy. And I'd say actually communication, this is a thing I see time and again, a lot of the work in AI is done by data science groups, small technical groups working together, maybe without some of the domain knowledge to really make it work when it's actually put into practice. So I think those are the things that are stopping it, get the uptake that might have been expected, and the onus is on us to deliver solutions that makes it easier for the customers to just say, hey, well, we've been collecting this data, you've got our data in a lot of cases, you are a system of record, show us how we can use this, how's it going to benefit us, show us some case studies for how it's going to make us more money or save us time. And a lot of the situation at the moment is companies asking those questions and saying, okay, we've had the hype, now let's see, where's the proof.
Cool. So I was once described talking about things you hear in the sector. I was once told that data or big data is like teenage sex. Everyone's talking about it, but no one's doing it right.
Yeah.
I'm
not wanting to take the analogy any further. In a way, everyone is probably collecting it in vast amounts, but they're either not storing it correctly or they're not doing the next stage, basically.
But that's where I was going, right? Because especially in the enterprise, they've got so much data.
Exactly.
So how do you even begin to decide what's good as an input into an AI algorithm or program or machine learning instance, and what's bad?
Yeah. So we need to work closely with our customers to understand what is it they're trying to do, where they're having pain, where they want to do things faster, where potentially there are new avenues of business, and then we look at the data we've got. We can work with them to understand, well, do you have it in the right form now? Here's what you'd need to do to go about it. So starting with the use cases, I think is important. You always need that end goal in mind. If you just start with the data, it's very easy to sort of be overwhelmed and not be able to know where to go with it. So working closely with our customers is key, and then developing, prototyping, iterating, quickly but effectively, right? So we have to build things that we can get out there. So
absolutely. Well, let's talk use cases. I mean, obviously you've got some pretty incredible clients, from my understanding, in the defense, aeronautics sort of space.
Yes.
But pick one for me. An enterprise client came to you and said, hey guys, IFAs, help us out here. We want to be an AI-enabled enterprise. And you consulted with them and delivered this amazing outcome. Can you give us an example?
Yeah, well, so I think there's elements that we've already delivered and elements that we're delivering where we're very strong, and we've done a lot of work is in our optimization capabilities. A lot of our larger enterprise companies, if we think about in aerospace, for example, in maintaining aircraft, they have these maintenance schedules they have to draw up in advance, very complex, very technical. They need to position technicians in the right place, parts, etc. It's a very complex problem to get right. Now, we've been using AI to help with that, to assist with that for a number of years. We're a leader in that space. But it's very much in terms of, well, here are the things we need to do, now go away, and how can we do them most efficiently? So what we're doing is rolling that back a bit earlier and saying, well, even before you give us a list of here are the things to do, here are the things that actually we think are going to happen. We think that this aircraft, based on its maintenance history, based on data we're getting from sensor readings, it's going to need maintenance much sooner than you think. In fact, the chance of it needing maintenance in the next week or so is very high. So we can't tell you for sure that you've got to take it out of service now, but you need to start thinking that. So if we start feeding that into our jobs, we're saying, these are all our aircraft, these are the chances they're going to need work over the next week, 2 weeks, feed that into a schedule and then work out how best to send all our technicians, our parts around. That's already quite a fundamental shift. We've shown a big improvement in terms of how effective that can be.
I saw a crazy stat yesterday here at one of the stands in London Tech Week that a flight, I can't remember how long the flight was, but a single flight can produce 8 terabytes of data.
Yes.
That's insane.
Absolutely crazy.
So that's the point, right? It's like, well, you build in some AI algorithms on top of that to start to be able to predict things like, service time or whatever the case is, or maybe bending of blades. I don't know, anything that could effectively enable a more smooth, efficient operation.
That's right, and I think it's being clever with the data as well. All that sensor data you're gathering is absolutely vital for making these predictions. But the other data that we have as a system of record, we understand the contractual maintenance histories, we understand what's gone wrong in the past. So it's not just the data on its own, but it's joining that data to create the full picture, basically.
Yeah.
That's where we can add the most value.
So it's overlaying different data sets to create insights.
Exactly, and that's that delivery, bringing the data sets together, delivering insights in an effective way, in an understandable way. That's what we are trying to do, basically. We don't want to be the ones who are, and we're not going to be the ones who are creating the new algorithms. There's plenty of that out there, but bringing it all together in a way that's going to help the businesses, that's absolutely what we want to be doing.
Okay. What does AI in the enterprise look like in 12 months from now? Are we going to be kind of having a similar discussion next year at London Tech Week, or do you feel that based on the data and the engagements that you have at an enterprise level and in the context of AI, what do you see coming out that's changing?
I see it being a lot less siloed. So I still think, certainly in a lot of industries, it's very much in proof of concept mode, right? We take a problem, we do analysis on it, we get the data, we prove something can work. Great, that's fine. But then we have to go away and implement that. Where I see it's going in 12 months' time is much more a focus on end-to-end. So bringing in some process automation, saying this is what a human would do if we get this reading in from a sensor that's going to raise a job order here, and it's going to mean that a technician has to go there. We can automate parts of that process. We can add machine learning into it. It's much more about taking the full use case and doing the automation end-to-end, often with a human in the loop. This is not complete automation. It's often about giving the human either more powerful output they can deal with, or allowing them to focus their time on higher priority activities. That's where I think the AI enterprise is going to be going. It's this end-to-end focus rather than this very siloed data science or data lab approach, which can be hard to actually get things up and running.
So a lot of CEOs talk about RPA, robotics process automation, the automation of the enterprise essentially through AI, as you touched on. Do you feel that we're ever going to get to a point where an enterprise would be fully automated? And what do you think the implications are for CEOs, right?
Yes.
Trying to work out, well, what workforce do I need to employ in the context of that automated enterprise?
Yeah, I think without doubt it's going to change the way businesses operate. It changes the way as an ERP vendor that we think about how users interact with our product, right? It's no longer about the number of users, because as we automate processes, you might have fewer users, but they're using new services, or they're using the cloud to take advantage of algorithms or processing capability. So it can open up sort of new business models, new revenue streams, new ways of thinking about things. In terms of the actual workforces, I still think we're a long way from full automation, because there's a lot of domain-specific knowledge that you need at either end of the process. Both in terms of the data that's going in, shaping the problems, shaping how those algorithms are going to feed off the data, and also what's coming out, having it in a way that's going to be able to feed up from the technical level to the C level in a way that people are going to understand. And I don't see those problems going away anytime soon. So I think we're still going to have a lot of augmentation of human capabilities for a number of years. And we'll see people move away from the more mundane, repetitive tasks, even quite skilled model building tasks, to more domain-specific knowledge around the periphery.
Amazing stuff. Let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Why do you do what you do? What gets you out of bed in the morning to go and kick ass and take names in the AI for enterprise space?
For me, I come from a very technical background. I'm absolutely fascinated by the algorithms themselves and how they go about doing things, and how we can take advantage of data that's coming out, that's prevalent in society these days. But the thing I noticed from this technical background was there's just not as many people as you would expect trying to straddle that application versus data border, if you like. I think in terms of the skills we have in workforce, there's a lot of people in the data science side of things, a lot of people in the business side. Bringing that together that's what I love doing. I love identifying problems, thinking about how we can use tech to solve those. That's what really sort of drives me on.
Awesome stuff. Bob De Caux, thanks for being on State of X.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Right, so the gyro glove is a gyroscope-based stabilizer for people with Parkinson's disease and essential tremor. So there's about 200 million people globally with uncontrollable sort of hand tremors.
So that's like when you
Yes.
just your hands uncontrollably shaking,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But not just your hands also, right? Is it your legs as well? Or?
It can affect different parts of the body.